Alright, I wanted to make a little video that explains two things. One, what chord tones are, and two, this idea of playing into changes. Chord tones are simply the notes of the chord. So if you've got an A minor, that means the notes of an A minor are A, C, E. A, C, and E are your chord tones. Chords are made up of the 1, 3, and 5, meaning if you have a scale, like an A minor scale, and you take the first, the third, and the fifth notes in that scale, that's what makes an A minor chord. So one way you can simply do this is just count on your fingers: A, B, C, D, E. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get rid of the 2 and the 4, and you've got this 1, 3, 5, A, C, E. It's sort of this Triton of music theory power, something like that. And you can do that with every chord. Now you have to take the key signature into consideration for whatever key the chord might be in, and eventually you just kind of learn, you know, major and minor chords, what notes are in every chord. You get used to it. Once you start thinking this way, I think chord tones become a very natural way of thinking, especially when you're soloing. All right, and now the reason why you want to know about chord tones is because if you're going to play into changes, this idea of playing the chord changes, playing into changes means that you really outline the chord changes that are happening underneath your solo. So in jazz, this is very common in jazz and everything. In rock, sometimes people just play like a you know, one minor pentatonic scale or something like that over an entire solo because it more or less works the whole time. But sometimes songs actually have interesting chord changes that you know, create melodies, or I guess that play behind a melody, and then it's like the same chord changes happen for the solo. So what can you play to make that make your solo more interesting and to outline the chord changes? Well, you want to play into the changes. So this one chord change, let's say it's A minor, D minor, G to C. So the A minor chord, your chord tones are A, C, and E, and your D minor, your chord tones are D, F, and A. Now, if we're playing over that A minor chord and we're going into the D minor chord, our target, we should be targeting either a D, F, or A. Okay? So let's just say it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So on the A minor, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. So that I played an A minor arpeggio, A, C, E, up into the F, which is a D minor chord tone. And then I could do something similar. I could play like a you know, just F, D, A, B, because that's the chord tone for the G chord, which is next, and then G, B, D, E, because E is a chord tone for the C chord. So that, I mean, when you do it over and over, when you use the same rhythmic pattern and everything, it sounds a little bit more like a rhythm guitar part maybe. But it's a good exercise when practicing over a chord change or trying to familiarize yourself with a chord progression, to play something that is like a simple motif that you repeat over and over again but adapt to fit the chord changes. So in this case, what I'm doing here is always targeting the third of the chord. So the F is the third of the D minor, the B is the third of the G chord, and the E is the third of the C chord. So I'm thinking, while I'm playing the A minor chord change, I'm thinking, okay, I want to land on a D, on the downbeat of the next chord. So everything I play up to that is basically serving the purpose of getting to an F. Then once I'm on the F, I'm thinking, okay, I need to play a B on the downbeat of the next measure. So everything I play has the purpose of getting to that B. And then my next step is to get to the E. So one thing, playing chord tones is cool. You can also play notes that are just from the scale. So an A minor scale, really in this particular chord progression, every note is going to be from a C major scale. It's just that, you might call it like A Aeolian mode, D Dorian mode, G Mixolydian mode, because if you want to name the scale after the root of the chord that you're on, which is totally fine, but sometimes that's a little bit over people's heads. So in this case, I would say it's a C scale. If you know the notes of your C scale in this part of the neck, you should be able to find, correct notes for this chord progression. So something like that. Just like I played some notes that are a little bit more, that's a little bit more, it sounds less like a rhythm guitar part because we're not just playing arpeggio patterns. And then finally, you can try to not just walk up or down into it, but actually do what we call enclosures, which is where you might go like something like that. So it's like the F is our target tone, and I'm playing an E and a G into an F. So I'm surrounding the F and closing it in notes from the chord before it, and then landing on it. So it makes a stronger resolution, and that happens a lot in bebop, where it's a little bit more. There's more chromatic tones that are used and everything, but in just a simple rock song, or even a not so simple rock song, playing around the chord tone and enclosing it is an even more kind of satisfying resolution, if you will, to the ear of the listener. And it just makes you sound like you know what you're doing. So anyway, kind of short explanation, but still 8 minutes long. I hope that helps some of you. All right.